Welcome to the Google Cloud Update for the first week of March 2026. I'm your host, and we have a packed episode for you today. This week, we'll be diving into the world of artificial intelligence with the launch of a new, cost-effective Gemini model and some major AlloyDB AI features hitting general availability. We'll also talk about some serious speed with a massive networking upgrade for Cloud Interconnect. Then we'll shift gears to data and analytics, where BigQuery and Spanner are getting even closer, and Looker is rolling out a truckload of new, generally available features. We'll also cover new runtimes for our serverless developers, important security updates, including the GA of AI protection, and a whole host of IAM changes. There's a lot to get through, so let's jump right in. Kicking things off in the world of AI and machine learning, generative AI on Vertex AI has some important updates. First, a heads up for developers using video generation. Several preview endpoints for VO are being deprecated. You'll want to migrate to the new recommended endpoints before April 2nd, 2026 to avoid any disruption. The release notes have a full mapping table for you. But with deprecation comes innovation. Gemini 3.1 Flash Lite is now available in public preview. This model is engineered to be the most cost-efficient Gemini model yet, optimized for low-latency use cases. If you're dealing with high-volume, cost-sensitive large language model traffic, this is definitely one to check out. As usual, new GKE versions are rolling out across the rapid, regular, stable, and extended channels. Version 1.35 is now the default for new clusters in the rapid channel. As always, the rollouts can take a few days to reach all zones, so check the release notes for the specific version numbers available to you and the new auto upgrade targets. Let's move on to security, identity, and observability. First up, AI protection in Security Command Center is now generally available in the premium tier. This uses AI to help detect threats against your AI and ML infrastructure. In Cloud KMS, the deletion of keys in key versions is now generally available. Do note that resources must meet specific criteria before they can be deleted, and the names of deleted keys can't be reused. Over in IAM, service account principal sets are now generally available. This allows you to reference all service accounts in a project, folder, or organization when you're writing your allow or deny policies, which can greatly simplify policy management. There was also a huge list of IAM role and permission updates this week. Many services like Capacity Planner, Application Design Center, and Config Delivery received new roles or had permissions added. Several roles for Application Design Center and Config Delivery also reached general availability. We won't list them all here, but it's worth checking the IAM changes in the release notes if you use those services. In cloud monitoring, observability analytics has a handy new feature. SQL queries in your dashboard templates can now use a system-defined variable that resolves to the project ID, saving you from having to update queries manually after installing a template. And a quick security fix to mention, an authorization vulnerability in Cloud Build, CVE 2020-63136, has been fixed. And finally, a few more updates from across the platform. Backup and DR Service now has GA support for protecting AlloyDB clusters with enhanced, immutable backups in a backup vault. It also now has GA support for backing up compute engine instances and persistent disks that are encrypted with customer-managed encryption keys, or CMEK. Cloud Deploy is now available in the Bangkok region. That's Asia Southeast 3. And for our Chronicle users, the list of supported default parsers has been updated for a wide range of products, from Calvio to Cisco. Google SecOps has also launched a new unified rules interface in preview, bringing custom and curated rule management into a single workflow with an enhanced IDE experience. And a final deprecation notice: Cloud Tools for Visual Studio is now deprecated and has been removed from distribution. Sticking with AI, but moving over to databases, AlloyDB has made a huge splash with several AI features now being generally available. Auto-vector embeddings are now GA, providing a scalable, automated way to manage the lifecycle of your vector embeddings. This means your embeddings can stay in sync with your transactional data without needing manual scripts. The feature now also supports incremental refresh in manual mode and a bulk mode that can speed up refreshes by up to 130 times. This is fantastic for semantic search and retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, applications. Also going GA are AlloyDB's AI functions. These integrate large language models like Gemini to bring world knowledge directly to your data. You get out-of-the-box functions for filtering, semantic ranking, generation, and forecasting, all within your SQL workflows. And finally, for AI Hypercomputer now allows you to apply compact placement policies to standalone Flex Start VMs. This is a GA feature that lets you co-locate your VMs in adjacent blocks, which can really help minimize network latency for demanding AI and ML workloads. Now, let's talk about our serverless and compute offerings. For all you Ruby developers, there's great news. Support for the Ruby 4.0 runtime is now in preview for Cloud Functions, Cloud Run, and the App Engine Flexible environment. And for PHP developers, the 8 Philippine pesos and 50 centavos runtime is now generally available for Cloud Functions and Cloud Run. Speaking of App Engine, for those of you on second-generation runtimes, the guide for migrating from the legacy Mail API to an SMTP-based email service like SendGrid or Mailgun is now generally available. This should make moving off that legacy service much smoother. Moving on to our data and analytics portfolio, starting with BigQuery. First up, a feature that's now generally available. You can use continuous queries to stream data from BigQuery to Spanner in real time. This is a powerful capability for building real-time applications and analytics on your Spanner data. For those of you using BigQuery's cross-region replication or managed disaster recovery, you can now monitor dataset replication latency and network egress bytes in Cloud Monitoring. These metrics are now GA and give you much better visibility into your data replication health. And for our AI and search fans, the vector search function has a new alternate syntax in preview. This new syntax is designed to improve query performance when you're searching for a single vector. Also, a quick note that an updated version of the Simba ODBC driver for BigQuery is now available. And to round out our data platform updates, a feature for cloud storage. You can now analyze object data and metadata from your storage insights datasets directly in BigQuery using object ref functions. The ref column in your dataset acts as a reference, allowing you to build queries that can detect sensitive information in documents or even generate image descriptions. Now, we have a ton of updates for Looker this week. It's clear the team has been busy. First, several key features are now generally available. This includes Embed Conversational Analytics, which lets you embed Looker's natural language querying capabilities into your application. This is now supported on Looker Google Cloud Core and via the Embed SDK. Custom tooltips are also now GA, allowing you to create rich, informative tooltips using UI settings and HTML with liquid templating. This is supported on most visualization types. Tabbed dashboards are another GA feature. You can now organize your dashboard content across multiple tabs, which is great for improving organization, performance, and storytelling. And finally, a suite of dashboard filter enhancements is now generally available. This includes persistent filter suggestions, the ability to select or deselect all filter values at once, and more control for dashboard creators over advanced filter conditions. Also, for those of you using AlloyDB, Looker now has full official support for connections with AlloyDB for Postgres. You'll see it as a new option in the dialect dropdown. There have also been some administrative changes. The Labs page in the admin panel has been renamed to Preview Features and is now available on Looker Google Cloud Core instances. And the Gemini and Looker admin page has been redesigned to allow for more selective enabling of Gemini features. For Looker Google Cloud Core users, you can now manage your instance backups directly in the Google Cloud Console, which previously required using the G-Cloud command line tool. And a breaking change for our Looker Original customer-hosted users. project-level local Git hooks are no longer supported for security reasons. Of course, there were also a ton of bug fixes, from issues with ClickHouse connections to problems with PDF downloads and conditional formatting. Check the release notes for the full, exhaustive list. It's a long one. Let's switch over to our other database services. Cloud Spanner now supports the on-conflict clause for Google SQL insert statements. You can now use on-conflict do nothing or on-conflict do update to gracefully handle unique constraint violations, which is a fantastic feature for simplifying your application logic. In Firestore, the Enterprise Edition now supports native mode in all supported regions, expanding its availability. And in Cloud SQL for MySQL, version 8.4.7 has been upgraded to 8.4.8. You can check the MySQL release notes for the details on that update. Now for some exciting news in networking. If you need some serious bandwidth, support for 400 gigabits per second connections is now generally available for both dedicated interconnect and cross-cloud interconnect. Along with this, VLAN attachments with capacities up to 400 gigabits per second are also GA. That is a massive amount of throughput. And over in the Network Intelligence Center, Connectivity Tests has some powerful new features. You can now specify a GKE pod as a source or destination endpoint for a test. The test will also evaluate IP masquerading, and for clusters without FQDN network policies, it will evaluate GKE network policies. This adds a much deeper level of network validation for your Kubernetes workloads. Connectivity Tests also now evaluates hybrid subnet routing. Speaking of GKE, let's talk about Kubernetes Engine. And that's a wrap for this week's Google Cloud Update. It was a big one, from the cost-effective new Gemini Flash Lite model and GA of AlloyDB's AI capabilities, to the blazing fast 400 gigabits per second interconnect and a mountain of new features for Looker. There's a lot to dig into. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next week for another dose of Google Cloud news.